Wel shadier than that. Good morning, Juilliard. Welcome to our school's very first virtual commencement. My name is Bruce Kovner, and I have the honor of serving as the chairman of the board of the Juilliard School for the last 20 years. Like all of you, I am surprised to be participating in this wonderful event on a video screen rather than in our own Alice Tully Hall and Irene Diamond building. But like you, I'm learning new skills, like how to speak to a video camera or operate the controls of a Zoom video conference. Even though we are not physically near each other, we are gathering electronically for the very same reason we have done so for the last 115 years: to confer degrees, to commemorate and celebrate the achievements of our graduates, and to share with Juilliard's extended family the joy we feel in your achievements and the belief we have in your future. Today on this call, we welcome you, the students, your friends, your families, the dedicated members of the faculty and administration, and all the other loyal friends of Juilliard. You can rest assured this 115th commencement of the Juilliard School will always have a unique place in our memories and in our history. Today, we recognize the accomplishments of your years of study. You have worked hard to master the demanding curriculum of coursework, lessons, rehearsals, performances. You have coped with the extraordinary difficulties of the COVID epidemic. It has been difficult, but you did it. You've persevered, you've triumphed. We are enormously proud of you. But these are difficult times. Let us not forget that you have now acquired and honed the skills that can bring joy to the world in the presentation of your art. In times of stress and sadness, the powers of consolation of great music and dance and theater cannot be overstated. Most of us, I dare say, have already had moments in this crisis of sharing deep feelings of communion, even through this limiting medium of the video screen. And especially because we have had to accept some physical isolation, we want and need the deep connection that great music, dance, and theater can provide. Juilliard is dedicated to maintaining and passing on our invaluable cultural legacy from one generation to the next. You are the bridge and the link that connects the past, present, and future through the medium of your art. It is said that great problems create great opportunities. You have had the fate of graduating in the midst of the COVID epidemic. That has placed unusual and often very difficult burdens on you. But it has also forced us to change and to learn, and with those changes have come enormous possibilities as well. You have an exceptional opportunity now to bring joy to others in their time of need, to enlighten and uplift your fellow citizens. You carry in your knowledge and skills and dedication some of the greatest achievements of the human spirit. You have been challenged, and you will rise to that challenge, I am sure. I offer my warmest congratulations and best wishes to Juilliard's class of 2020. I salute you as you go forth to make your own mark on the performing arts in the 21st century. And now, as we honor the extraordinary achievements of this class of 2020, please join me in looking back over the past several years in this video that celebrates the graduates' incredible journeys at Juilliard up until this very day. Thank you.
Graduating students, families, friends, welcome. Thank you for joining today on this special that celebrates the Juilliard class of 20. Are you not hearing me? None of us could have imagined that today would be like this, spread out over the country and across seas. We are having a commencement that challenges all expectations. But through this all, I am heartened by our ability to circumvent and to invent. In many ways, we are here together, and I am reminded that we define togetherness. So today, I want to talk to you, class of 2020, about that togetherness, about connectivity. What does it mean to be together? And why are you, as artists, tasked with being champions of that connectivity, that togetherness? Is this simply an emotional commitment, or is it dependent on what we put into that commitment? Because togetherness is not a facile concept, a sentimental moment when we all feel an uplift of commonality. It can be far more than that. And the rigor and excellence of our practice determines our ability to connect through art with each other and with our audiences. And that is what you have invested in at Juilliard. You have honed your skills to be connectors, and that is the ultimate goal of all your work, that you connect it to others. When the threats of COVID-19 first rose, the situation demanded that we separate. The deeply difficult but necessary decision to transition online was steeped with challenge, but the overwhelming reaction from you, our Juilliard community, was one of unity. You helped friends move when they couldn't get back to campus. You supported each other in hours of heartbreak and of fear. You circulated joy in the virtual world. Your faculty not only mobilized to adapt their courses, but they faced the challenge with grace and with tenacity, and most importantly, with compassion and kindness. Juilliard has proven that our togetherness is more powerful than any obstacle of proximity. In January, Dr. Clarence B. Jones, speechwriter and lawyer for Martin Luther King Jr., and Juilliard-trained clarinetist, was the recipient of our Presidential Medal. At the ceremony, he said, "At Juilliard, you are making people who can make people dream, who can make people imagine, and make people hope." What a responsibility that is, to unite others through art. Because art pinpoints that voice deep within us that is so easily squandered by the noise of everyday life. And truly great art cuts through all that noise. That is what the excellence is for. Creating such art is essential because when all the excess of the world falls away, our search for the human connection remains. And the situation that we find ourselves in today might be unlike anything we have faced before, but in our artistic practice, we are ready. We have been rehearsing. I want to end by saying thank you. You've brought openness and resilience and humor, even in a time of darkness. So thank you for being a community that we can all be forever proud to be a part of. We've been reminded that Juilliard is not a building. Juilliard is a community that we've built. It's all of you. And as that community, we must embrace our collective challenge. We cannot wait for the world to tell us to forge pathways. So class of 2020, dig deep. You've worked hard for this. The skills you have honed here and the relationships you've made will help you create channels of human connection. These channels announce the essential nature of art and of this passage you are making as artists today. You can make people dream. Congratulations to the class of 2020. Now, I want to return to where we began the year. In September, at Convocation, we spoke about the continuum, the lineage that we all join at some point. Now, this lineage contains you, those before you. It also contains the friends and families who've brought you to where you are, because none of us do it alone. Wynton Marsalis has said that we are all born midstream. And I would add that it's what happens from then on that is the life's work. Our special guest in September at Convocation was Philip Glass, composer and Juilliard alumnus. Philip and I talked about his time at Juilliard, and it was clear that it was like yesterday to him. So in honor of your passage to becoming an alum, and to all the alumni around the world, we'll now have graduating flutist Viola Chan playing Philip's Caprice from the Serenade for solo flute. Thank you, Viola. Thank you for that beautiful performance connecting us across the globe. At Juilliard, we look to foster a strong sense of community among our faculty, staff, and students, both in the school and outside the building. Every year, our Morse Teaching Artist Fellows bring music education to classroom students across New York City, while our Gluck Community Service Fellows create interactive performances for more than 45 city health facilities. All of our students come to know that to be an artist is to be in service, to continually look outward, and that itself is the highest form of art. I can think of no other person who embodies the spirit of a citizen artist more than our friend Yo-Yo Ma. He is a musician, a thinker, a humanitarian, also an alum. He is a champion of culture as a uniting force and serves as a model for all of us. I'm thrilled to now welcome Yo-Yo to join us for a commencement conversation.
Thank you, Damien.
Yo-Yo!
Thank you. It's such a pleasure to be with you, and thank you for your inspiring words.
So thrilled to see you. I can imagine you there in Cambridge today, and yet we're together, as we are with all of these graduates scattered around the globe and all of our friends and families. It's so good to have you with us.
Thank you.
Yo-Yo, I was thinking, this is a live conversation just like we have, and we have so many times sat down and thought about how we connect, and that really is the theme of this graduation. But I was wanting to ask you, if there's a message that you'd like to give today to our class of 2020 as they graduate, as they commence, what would it be, Yo-Yo?
Well, Damien, I think you said it all, connecting and uniting. And I think if I were to build on those two words, I would say that one way to connect for all of you performers is about connecting first the head and the heart. Now, how do we do that? I think there's a world out there that does analytical thinking great. But I think there may be a little bit lacking on the heart part. Or those that think have less heart, and those that have heart may not be thinking all the time. You know why? Because you can't do both at the same time. And I think it's your jobs to do that. And the most important thing in terms of connecting is to create trust between you and your audience and the listener. And how do you create trust? Well, we know there's not a lot of trust going on in a lot of the world, but you can create trust by telling the truth. You can create trust by telling the truth and finding your inner truth and the essential truths in nature and in human nature. And I think, Damien, that connecting, but then you unite all of that by actually doing service, because then you are reaching out to everybody.
As part of the care package each graduate's going to get with their diploma in a few weeks' time, we're including at your suggestion a pin that represents the Sustainable Development Goals outlined by the United Nations as achievable by 2030. So I wanted to ask, why did you want to share those goals, and what do they mean to you as an artist and as a human being?
Well, I think this is another version of connecting. Very smart people have come together and said there's 17 goals. What are those goals? They're climate change, jobs, health, inequality, gender equality, environment, water, all the things that we're all concerned about. And it takes all of us to help. But how can we help? I think by joining with the people who have said, this is our home, this is our common home. And if you join the head and the heart, you're able to bring everybody together deciding to want to help. I think because the head knows some things, but if the heart isn't aligned, you're not going to want to act. And I think you act when the head and heart are joined together. And only you, as performing artists, can do that better than anybody else.
Right.
So this is the
Right.
pin.
Right.
I'm so proud that you all have this, because you will find your way, your special way of making a difference in any of those goals.
I love that. And I can't wait for all the graduates to receive their diplomas and their packages. And then the pin is going to be something that they share as a class. And it's so emblematic of that trust, of that spirit of uniting head and heart that you described for the good and through art and through humanity moving forward. Your son Nicholas's recent short film chronicles your relationship with one piece of music over the course of your life, the prelude from Bach's First Cello Suite. And as you know, shortly before we were forced to leave the building at Lincoln Center, the film was installed on the second floor, where it'll be waiting for all of the students and community to return. In fact, I think it might be playing right now in the empty building. Even as the building slumbers, it is alive. Can you tell us quickly about the journey that you've made through this piece and how that journey relates to the path of these young artists graduating today?
Well, I think this is also a kind of question that is about connecting the different chapters of your life together. I think we all, when we're young, we want to prove ourselves. You know, we're strong, we can do things, we're capable, we have technique. And I think with each chapter of my life, my relationship with this piece of music grew in realizing, first, I can play it as a 4-year-old. And then you ask, what is this about? What is this about? Then I realized that, well, this is about something that's not me. And who's Bach about? And what is he trying to describe? And I sort of decided at one point, you know, this is actually about a piece of music that describes nature, the balance between and the relationship between human beings, human nature, and the natural world, the universe. So you have the most minute note-to-note coding and somehow expressing that there's an infinite variety of life out there. And if we can try and make that into a feeling, and that by understanding the code, you then get to be part of and share that incredible universe that that piece of music has created. And coincidentally, NYU Tisch is having their graduation now, which Nicholas is part of. And so this is another wonderful moment that we're all sharing and celebrating. Yeah.
I love it. And so what you described essentially is a lifelong process of decoding and finding ways to connect more fully and investigating how things actually relate to each other and being a part of things. So in that spirit, even as the movie of you playing the Bach is in the school, we made a recording earlier of you playing it that we're going to share with this group so that they can be a part of this legacy, of this continuity of decoding. So now please enjoy a recording we just made earlier of Yo-Yo for this class of Bach's Preludes from the First Cello Suite. Bravo, bravo. Thank you so much. It was a benediction for the class of 2020. And I'm so grateful to you, Yo-Yo. And I'm so grateful for everyone who's made such a difference in these graduates' journey. I especially, I think, want to thank our mutual friend, the Provost and Dean, Ara Gazalimian, as he's making his own graduation passage this year, stepping down from the provost role. But as you know, he's graciously staying on as our interim dean and director of the music division next year.
I just want to say I am so glad to be able to introduce my great friend and colleague, one of the finest people on this planet. Why? Because he uses his immense knowledge at the service of kindness, of being compassionate, with humility to serve you, to all of us, so that we can thrive. So without further ado, Ara, welcome.
Thanks, Yo-Yo. It means so much to be with you on my own graduation day, even if we're together just virtually. Thanks so much for so many years of friendship and some pretty great adventures together. Just this year alone, in January, we met up in Guangzhou over Bach. And then in March, you don't know this, but you introduced me to one of my great musical heroes, Angelique Kidjo. And that happened in room 340 at the Juilliard School. So yet another Juilliard miracle behind the studio door. So it's been nothing but really good fortune for me along on this journey. And one of the great pieces of fortune has been to work with two visionary presidents, Joseph Polisi, who brought me to Juilliard, for which I'm eternally grateful, and Damien. What a great adventure it's been together. We have serious fun together. And the nicest thing is that that will now continue. These have been among the most joyous and fulfilling years of my life. It's a school, right? So I've learned so much and I keep learning thanks to the fantastic faculty, to the staff, and most of all to the students. You've made my world a bigger and better place. And I can't thank you enough for that. Class of 2020, I am graduating with you and I'm proud to be one of you.
Thank you so much, Ara. And Yo-Yo, oh my goodness, thank you so much for joining us today. You are our cellist in chief and you are our inspiration. Thank you so much, Yo-Yo.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. Just so incredible to have the level of aspiration that Yo-Yo has, to inhabit through him, that there is so much to do to go forward. And that is what this today is all about. This graduation is about going forward. And now we go forward to presenting one of the commencement awards for this year, the Joseph W. Polisi Prize. Joseph, of course, our President Emeritus, Chief China Officer. He led the school for 34 years, an era of excellence and new connection to the world at large. Joseph has been a believer in the power of the arts to change the world his entire lifetime. Born into a music and dance family, he saw what the arts could do firsthand. So Provost and Dean Gazalimian, will you now please present this year's Joseph W. Polisi Prize?
With huge, huge pleasure. The Joseph W. Polisi Prize is presented to a graduating student in dance, drama, or music who exemplifies Juilliard's values of the artist as citizen. These students must demonstrate that they're not only superb young artists, but also that they engage in society as thoughtful citizens and advocates for the arts. This year, the Joseph W. Polisi Prize goes to 3 graduating students in dance, drama, and music, who, in addition to their artistic excellence, have been incredibly active and fully engaged members of the Juilliard community. Trayden Chiaravalotti from dance Jalen Coleman from drama, and Jalen Simmons from music. Here's a glimpse of all of them receiving their well-deserved prizes in a call we had earlier this week. I'm so happy to let the three of you know that you are the recipients of the Joseph W. Polisi Prize as this year's commencement. Jalen, you've been a diversity advocate and orientation leader for the past 3 years. You've engaged in the period packing party to support homeless women, and you've distinguished yourself as a really thoughtful and wonderful member of the vocal arts community. Creighton, we're recognizing your work as a peer mentor, as a residence assistant, and as a member of Student Congress, and for your generous and caring spirit within the dance division. And Jalen, you've been an orientation leader, you've led the Black Student Union, you've produced and directed the annual Martin Luther King student event, and you've brought together students not only from your own drama division, but from across all 3 divisions of the school to gather in fellowship and support. Congratulations, and thank you to all 3 of you for all you've done to make Juilliard a better place. We've clearly caught you by surprise. I don't know if you've had a chance to kind of take it in, but would love to ask each of you just thoughts and reactions upon getting this news.
I think speechless, honored, and to be recognized for not being just an artist, but a citizen as well, and trying to think about that with imagination and into the future as I graduate is inspiring and empowering.
It's really strange how I got into all these, I'm sure as all of us have gotten to all these things at Juilliard while being here for 4 years, and it's just kind of something that's ingrained in you and a part of you, and you're not, you're making a difference, but you're not necessarily thinking about how much of a difference it is, because we're all just in our lanes trying to get the work done. So it's nice to be recognized.
I'm so grateful, and love is the only word that comes to my mind right now. Love. I love this school so much. Juilliard is my school of miracles, I really learned how to love myself at Juilliard, and I'm so grateful to all my teachers and faculty, and I can't hug them right now, but love. I feel so much love for everybody right now.
So great to see them. And the citizenship at the heart of that award has always been a part of Juilliard. And Juilliard has also always been an exploratory ground. From its earliest beginnings, it was about exploring and developing the role of classical music in America. And as it grew to include dance and drama, to exploring the possibilities around interdisciplinary collaboration. In the 1950s, as dance became an essential part of Juilliard, the creators of the day were active in the school, as they are today. Martha Graham was a presence in the old building on Claremont Avenue, but even before that, she was educating her peers as well as students. In 1943, in the middle of the Second World War, Martha Graham mentored fellow choreographer Agnes DeMille with words that laid out the challenge of having a rigorous and personal voice as a creator. It was later immortalized as a written letter.
Composer Aaron Copland wrote his ballet Appalachian Spring for Martha Graham. In fact, it's actually subtitled Ballet for Martha. He wrote his wonderful Rodeo for Agnes DeMille. And so today we'll be sharing that spirit of convergence among these 3 artists and among all 3 of our divisions. Please join us as graduating pianist Bronwyn Schumann is joined with graduating actor Catherine Renee Turner in a performance of Aaron Copland's Our Town, paired with Martha Graham's letter to Agnes DeMille.
is a vitality, a life force, a quickening that is translated through you into action. And because there is only one of you in all of time, this expression is unique. If you block it, it will not exist through any other medium and be lost. The world will not have it. It is not your business to determine how good it is, nor how valuable it is, nor how it compares with other expressions. It is your business to keep it yours, clearly and directly. Keep the channel open. You do not even have to believe in yourself or your work. You have to keep open and aware directly to the urges that motivate you. Keep the channel open. No artist is pleased. There is no satisfaction whatever at all. There is only a queer, divine dissatisfaction. A blessed unrest that keeps us marching and makes us more alive than the rest.
Catherine and Bronwyn, thank you so much for sharing the legacy of artistic mentorship that has always been at the heart of Juilliard. Before we continue with the degree conferral portion of the ceremony, I want to thank the extraordinary faculty and staff of the college, without whom none of what Juilliard does could be possible. I want to recognize the college's artistic directors, who are the bedrock of this institution. Alicia Graff-Mack, Director of the Dance Division. Evan Yanulis, Richard Rogers, Director of the Drama Division. Adam Meyer, Director of the Music Division and Deputy Dean of the college. Brian Ziegler, Artistic Director of the Ellen and James S. Marcus Institute for Vocal Arts. Wynton Marsalis, Director of Juilliard Jazz. And Robert Mealy, Director of our Historical Performance Program, which has been celebrating its 10th anniversary year. For the official conferral of degrees, we'll be hearing the entrance of Polyhymnia from Rameau's La Boréade, performed by our Historical Performance Ensemble, Juilliard 415, led by Robert Mealy, and recorded live on their triumphant tour of New Zealand just this past March.
We'll turn now to the conferral of degrees. We will be conferring degrees by group, and individual graduate names will be read at the departmental gatherings surrounding this ceremony. We begin with the candidates for the diploma. Mr. President, these students have completed the requirements for the diploma of the Juilliard School and have been recommended for it by the faculty. I respectfully request that you award the diploma to them.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the University of the State of New York and by the Board of Trustees of the Juilliard School, I award you a diploma.
We'll turn next to the candidates for the Bachelor of Fine Arts degree. Mr. President, these students have completed the requirements for the Bachelor of Fine Arts degree of the Juilliard School and have been recommended for it by the faculty. I respectfully request that you confer the degree of Bachelor of Fine Arts upon them.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the University of the State of New York and by the Board of Trustees of the Juilliard School, I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Fine Arts with all the rights and responsibilities thereunto.
And now we turn our attention to the candidates for the Bachelor of Music degree. Mr. President, these students have completed the requirements for the Bachelor of Music degree of the Juilliard School and have been recommended for it by the faculty. I respectfully request that you confer the degree of Bachelor of Music upon them.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the University of the State of New York and by the Board of Trustees of the Juilliard School, I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Music with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertain.
The candidates for the graduate diploma. Mr. President, these students have completed the requirements for the graduate diploma at the Juilliard School and have been recommended for it by the faculty. I respectfully request that
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the University of the State of New York and by the Board of Trustees of the Juilliard School, I award you the graduate diploma.
And now the candidate for the Master of Fine Arts degree. Mr. President, these students have completed the requirements for the Master of Fine Arts degree of the Juilliard School and have been recommended for it by the faculty. I respectfully request that you confer the degree of Master of Fine Arts.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the University of the State of New York and by the Board of Trustees of the Juilliard School, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Fine Arts with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertain.
Now for the conferral of the Master of Music degree. Mr. President, these students have completed the requirements of the Master of Music degree of the Juilliard School and have been recommended for it by the faculty. I respectfully request that you confer the degree of Master of Music upon them.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the University of the State of New York and by the Board of Trustees of the Juilliard School, I confer upon you that right.
Diploma. Mr. President, these students did the Juilliard School. I request that you award
Ara, Provost Dean Bizalimian. Audio is failing slightly. We are going to pause while you answer
me now.
your audio.
Little switch of equipment. Are you here?
We
Sure.
have you back. Please begin again with
We
the
turn our
artist.
attention to the candidates of the artist diploma. Mr. President, these students have completed the requirements for the artist diploma at Juilliard School and have been recommended for it by the faculty. I respectfully request that you award them the artist diploma.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the University of the State of New York and by the Board of Trustees of Juilliard, I award you the artist diploma. The formal hooding and conferral of degrees, the Doctor of Musical Arts graduates, took place at the special ceremony last night. We honor these graduates now and extend our warmest congratulations to all of them. Congratulations to all the graduates. Leonard Bernstein and Stephen Sondheim's Somewhere from West Side Story takes on even more poignancy than usual as we find ourselves thinking about a time and a place when we can be together. With us today to perform this is graduating soprano Shireen Pimentel, on hiatus from her role as Maria in the darkened Broadway revival of West Side Story, joined by DMA collaborative pianist Chris Reynolds.
There's a place for us somewhere, a place for us, peace and quiet and open air wait for us somewhere. There's a time for us someday, a time for us, time together with time to spare, time to learn, time to care, someday, somewhere, we'll find a new way of living. We'll find a way of forgiving somewhere. There's a place for us, a time and place for us. Hold my hand and we're halfway there. Hold my hand and I'll take you there. Somehow, someday, somewhere.
Nine. Thank you so much, Shireen and Chris, for that beautiful performance. And we will be somewhere together soon. I look forward to the time when I can shake each of your hands and congratulate you in person. For now, we are joined through music and dance and drama in an immortal web that is bound by the commitment of your work at this school. And as you go forward from this, your next destination as graduates will be a lobby hangout where you will be welcomed into that particular ensemble, which you will be a part of for the rest of your lives. Juilliard alumni. We are so proud of you, class of 2020. You have made a difference and you will continue to do so. And through the difficulties of the last month shines the light that you have created over the last years. Once again, congratulations to the class of 2020.